Hi, I am Clements, and I just finished editing a really special video. I can't wait for you to see it. I'm really proud of it, both the video and the project it documented. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait until late January to see it, and with any luck, it won't be showing up in the usual place. But that's all I'll say about it for now. I'm not one to be secretive or clickbaity, but I just wanted you to know that this is where a majority of my time has been spent this week, alongside trying to get all my other projects for Christmas done, which I also can't show you until after December, but that's just for spoilers. All that said, I do still have a video for you this week. I just came up with a really cool design for a calendar stand, so I wanted to take a few minutes to share that with you. In my custom box video, I briefly mentioned that I make custom one-a-day calendars. Unfortunately, this isn't a video on those yet, or the padding press that I used to make them, which was actually one of the first video ideas that I ever wrote down for the channel. But it is going to be about a specific part of these calendars, and that's the stand. Now, the easiest way to get a stand for these calendars is just to save them from store-bought ones. And I've collected quite a few, so they'll work for 1 or 2 calendars, but if I'm, say, making a calendar for everyone in my family, I'm not going to have enough. I could actually order these online for $1.35 if I want to buy 100 at a time, which maybe that'd be worth doing. But of course, you know I like to make stuff myself, so I came up with this. Just a piece of Kydex. It's a thermal plastic, meaning you can bend it when you heat it up. So I cut out these 2 feet and heated them up and bended them out as the platform. This wing on the back folds out, and this tongue folds down and slots right in there. That's a pretty cool stand. Now, it's not the thickest or strongest plastic, but it is, however, just strong enough to hold up a calendar. And of course, as the year goes on, the calendar gets lighter and its job gets easier. And it's a really simple design. You can cut it out with a razor blade, and I even batched out a whole bunch on my laser. This was, however, before I knew about what you really should and shouldn't put through a laser, and it turns out that yes, you can laser it, and it lasers very well. You have to be very careful when doing so because it makes hydrogen chloride gas. Luckily, I was doing it outside and I was wearing a respirator while doing so, but that's still a bit scary. So I need something that's easy to make, sturdy, but still has a very low profile so it can fit in the box. So I'm going to use some hardboard. It's kind of like MDF, kind of like really thick compressed cardboard. It's really easy to work with, really cheap. You've seen me use it before. But of course, how to get this to do this? Well, I could glue on a piece for the ledge, but of course, that's really not going to work. I thought about making some sort of 3D printed bracket that slides on the edges, and I could hold these 2 pieces together and could also probably provide the stand. But then maybe I could just use the 3D printed bracket and have a little tongue come out. I kept racking my brain, and then finally the idea of dowels dawned on me. I could just put 2 holes in the bottom, stick my dowels through, and there's my stand. It doesn't get any easier than that. And I am thrilled with this design. I'm sure it's been done before. I'm sure I've seen it before. Either way, I am so glad I thought of it. And I mean, that's it. It's a board and 2 dowels. But there's a few things I'm gonna do to spruce it up and make it work a little bit better. For my dowels, I actually cut up a whole bunch of those dollar store skewers that I found. Now, as I said, skewers can be pretty inconsistent in size, so I may have to go ahead and get some actual dowels, but so far I think these are gonna work. Just doing a quick sanding of the cut edges. Now to give the dowel a little extra grip when the calendar is sitting on it, but more importantly, to let the assembler know exactly how far to push in the dowel, I'm going to slip on a piece of heat shrink tubing. And it just so happens that the size these need to be is the same size as a AA battery. So I'll just slip that over. 1 and 2. There we go. Slides in the perfect amount. Now to drill those holes in there, I went ahead and made myself a little jig out of scrap wood to get those aligned perfect every time. Now I designed this to be a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square, so it can go in either direction, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I just drill out the holes. slide that out of the jig. Clean up some of the tear out. Now you could leave this surface just as is. You could paint it. I think I'm actually just going to apply a blank label sheet to it. I think that looks pretty good. We can just punch those dowels into the holes through the label, push them through. It's such a great stand design. I just love it. I love how simple and how well it works. It easily disassembles, fits in the box with the calendar. Now, of course, you don't have to use this for a calendar. You could resize this to any shape you need and hold all kinds of things. A photo, a Christmas card, a book, a bigger book, a donut, a switch, a phone stand, I guess. Lasagna, kinetic sand, Jazz's Jazzy Art Box, King's Hawaiian Rolls. I've got a bunch more of these to make, as well as 1,000,001 other things to do, so I'm gonna get to it. My sincere thank you for watching. Once again, I am Clements, if you're wondering. Nick is short for Nicholas, and the D stands for Dumbledore. I've been re-listening to the books, and I just got to the part. Anyway, I'm off to make something else. I'd like to nominate this for the best band name ever. I screen printed this in high school, 2002, 17 years ago. It still looks as good as the day it was printed. You just can't beat old-fashioned screen printing.